Coffee Break with Jimmy. Now, before I get started, please subscribe, press the like button, share, and hit that notification bell so next time I'm on. I just wanted to continue talking more about Iran and what's going on over there and what the president's doing. You know, I think last time I talked about we're having total air superiority. I guess we pretty much, 34 or 40 ships we've sunk of the Iranian, their navy. I didn't even know they had a navy, really. But I guess this has been going on all week. They've taken out some ships. And I guess they pretty much got all air superiority there over Iran. But the Mullahs and some of the people in Iran just don't want to give up their spot. They even got another guy, I guess he's the son of Ayatollah Khomeini, that they chose him to be the new leader. Well, I think it's up to the Iranian people, and this is what got them in trouble before, of picking these zealots, these mullahs that this liberal, well, I don't know what you would call it. I guess they just appointed him the leader, and that's what they've done for the last 47 years since Iran's been in trouble. And I think now President Trump has said, okay, this is the end of it. This is we're going to start something different. He did the same thing in Venezuela, and I know there's something going on in Cuba right now. I know exactly what that is, but because Cuba's, I guess they're about their dollar is about worth paper, just like the dollar in Iran. But Iran doesn't want to give it up. They want to keep their clerics there in charge, and that's not going to happen. They're going to have some kind of a democracy. Maybe I don't know. They had, what I guess they would have a king and queen, and they had a prince there, and our royal family, kind of like what they had in Britain, but a little bit different, I guess. I guess there's other countries over there. I mean, you look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's got the crown prince and the king of Saudi Arabia, but they do have people in their, I guess, in their cabinet would be just like they have in Britain. They have they have a cabinet there, and they have the secretary of that takes care of. I mean, she's what is it? They have the royal family, but they're not in charge. They have a cabinet there that's in charge of Britain, and I don't know exactly how they're going to do this in Iran and what they're going to do, but they can't have these clerics there in charge anymore, and that's what they're going to try to do. And they're not laying down their weapons. It looks like we're going to have to put ground forces in there. That's not what we want to do, but I think maybe we'll have to. Maybe we'll put some special forces, Marine recons, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, But they might just send in the Army or the Marines, and they'll take care of business there also. But we don't want to stay there. We don't want to run their country. We want them to have their own country. And the people of Iran, that's what they want. That's what they wanted for a long time. That's why they've been protesting. And, I mean, these clerics, they assassinated, mass murdered 30,000 people because they were protesting. That's insane. You think you want those kind of people running that country? I mean, I don't think it's going to happen in the Middle East, because they're attacking their neighbors. I said this in the last podcast. They attacked Jordan. They attacked UAE. They attacked Saudi Arabia. I mean, they've went after their neighbors, and they're claiming that they're going after the U.S. bases on the like Bahrain's got a U.S. base, a Navy base there. They said they were attacking. No, they hit hotels and they hit condominiums where people lived. They didn't hit the bases. Okay, so their neighbors aren't too happy with them. So I don't think that's gonna fly very well, and they'll help them, along with the United States, will help them get their country back on track because they actually could be a very wealthy country if they do things right there, and they got plenty of oil, right? I mean, come on, what they got the third largest cache of oil in the world, and that's quite a bit. But and they'll sell most of it to China. So China's hurting a little bit right now because they're not getting oil like they were getting from Iran. But so I mean, it's going to continue going on. We got to keep watching the news, see what happens. Hopefully this won't last but a couple more weeks, and they'll put it into it, and they'll get a new administration there running their country. Maybe the people, I've said it before on one of my podcasts, I mentioned that maybe these guys that have been imprisoned that were against the mullahs and they wanted to, they wanted to, help run the country. And because, I don't know, of who they were, and they possessed a threat, so they just imprisoned them. And so they've been in prison for years. Some of them were assassinated. Some of them were hung. Some of them, I mean, anybody who attempted to go against them, against their clerics, and then that's what they pretty much did. So that's not going to happen, and Trump's not going to let that happen. So we'll see. But, the people over there, I heard the other day, I have to take a little bit of offense to this. Not offense. But they say the women in Persia, Persian women there, Iranian women, are very beautiful women, and they're a very beautiful people. Men and women. I don't know. See, I grew up here in California, and I grew up around a lot of Portuguese women, and Portuguese women were just, to me, are the most beautiful women in the world. And maybe I'm prejudiced because I am Portuguese. So, but my cousins, my mother, my aunts, they're all beautiful people, And the girls I went to school with, a lot of Portuguese girls I went to school with, very beautiful girls. They all look like Emily Campanos, and I know she's Italian, but you see, like I got the best of both worlds there. My wife is half Portuguese, half Italian, so I got beauty on both sides. But my wife's very beautiful. But you go on to, I don't know. I would say the Persian women are pretty, but I would say Portuguese women. Any woman of any nationality, they're all beautiful. I think that was the greatest thing God ever created was a woman. But for some to say that all these Persian women are the most beautiful women, you ever been to Brazil? You ever see the women in Brazil? Of course, they're Portuguese too, right? So there's a lot of beautiful women everywhere. I was raised here in California. I mean, my buddies in the Marine Corps, whenever we'd go to different places, they wanted to come out to California because we were all stationed out at El Toro, was in Los Angeles, and they just never saw so many beautiful women ever in their life. They're from the flyover country, the middle of the United States, and Kansas, Missouri, that area over there. They didn't have women over there, and they're beautiful women over there too. Believe me, they are. I spent some time back there with some buddies, but there's beautiful women everywhere. And that was the greatest thing that the Lord ever created was woman, and I'll say that that's the greatest thing God ever created was woman. But anyway, so I don't know. I just kind of have to say that Portuguese women are beautiful too. So, I mean they want to get out. They don't want to wear their burqas anymore. They want to have they want to have a life. Then there's doctors, people that have left Iran, have gone to the medical field and attorneys and different things, and they're very smart people, and they left and they came to the United States and they start. Whether they go back to Iran or not, I don't know. I think most of them that are here now, they kind of like our free country here, and that's what we fight for, and that's what we're fighting for right now. We're fighting for the whole world, for peace in the whole world. But the start of it is going to have to be Iran's going to have they're going to have to lay down their weapons, and we'll see what happens there. So anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about that, and just kind of on the heels of the last time, what I've talked about the last stuff. But I do want to talk about a little bit about California. I don't know what the Democrats are thinking. Do they have anybody? Well, we got Gavin Newsom is their front runner right now, or Kamala Harris. They're both from California. They both suck. Okay, and just look what they're doing. I'm going to do probably something next weekend. I got to go do some work over in Corcoran, and I'll go right underneath the bullet train where they're building it, and it's not completed. But Gavin Newsom here, a couple of weeks ago, he was saying, I'm over here in Shafter or Wasco, just outside of Shafter, or we're starting to lay down the track of the bullet train. Oh, what the hell are they doing that for? The infrastructure isn't done. There's gaps all over the place, up in between Shafter and Merced. There's gaps all over the place. There's no way this bullet train is going to be ready to go for a couple of years anyway. Well, but he's got to make it look good for the rest of the United States. Oh, look what he's doing. He's got the bullet train going. Now, that's been the biggest, probably about his biggest waste of money that he's ever done. And we'll find that. Of course, they're going to have to complete it now because they've started and they've probably a little more than halfway done anyway. But they haven't even gone into Los Angeles or into San Francisco, which is supposed to go from L.A. to San Francisco. That's where the bullet train's supposed to go. But it hasn't even gone, into either one of those areas. So we'll see what happens. And but Democrats don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. Look at Crockett, how she got beat by that Tallarico, and he's about as far left as you're going to get. In Texas, they want to have mats, welcome mats at the border, and just leave the border wide. Are you out of your mind? I mean, he's about as far left as you're going to get. He's not going to, and whoever he runs against in the Republican Party, he's not going to win. There's no way, not in Texas. And but I mean, the people they have, this Bamberger, whatever her name is, she's the governor of Virginia. I mean, she said she was a moderate. No, she's not a moderate. She's about as far left as you're going to get. Also, they'll say whatever they want to say just to get themselves in office, and then they're going to do what they want to do, just like Johan Mondami. I mean, he's finding out real quick that he's not going to be able to do the things that he wanted to do in New York. But people really, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, really, look at who we got running, for the parties, and we got to keep President Trump in office. We can't have him if they win, if they happen to take over the House or the Senate in the midterms. All they're going to do is the next 2 years, the Democrats are going to work on trying to impeach Trump. And, I've said this. A lot of people have said this. That's what's coming if that's what happens there. So really, you got to think about what's going on. Yeah, we're going to be hurting for a little bit right now because of the war in Iran. But that's going to stop. And when that stops, that country's going to be free. It's going to free up things in the Middle East. It's going to make those countries over there, we're all going to work together with Israel. Everybody's going to work together. And even Britain, they're kind of sucking wind right now because they didn't help us in the beginning of this. And so they're trying to come in the back door when it's all done. And Trump says, yeah, you go ahead, but I'll remember this. And they're not the Britain that used to be. Of course, they're getting overrun by immigrants also, that and France, by the way. But anyway, back to that. I think keep your eyes open. Please vote for the best man or woman to run this country, to step in, to keep Trump's, to keep this the Trump's agenda alive. Things are going in the right direction. And look at all the things he's doing. No other president's ever done this. No other president's had the guts to do what he's doing right now. No one. And everybody's liking it. I'm talking around the world, the United States, and they're saying that, he's on the downfall. His approval rating is below 40%. I've seen some places where it's below 40%. Well, you know, that's a lot of Democrats out there, but, you know, they might disapprove of them. But I don't think it's below 40%. I think his approval rating is somewhere around 60 to 70%. You know, because you have to see the people out there, talk to the people out there. They're getting tired of the same old. And we finally got someone in the office that's not really a politician, but it's a businessman that's taking care of business. And we've all said this. We've said this for a number of years. This is what we need to run this country, and we have that now. So let's not lose it, folks. Let's keep it alive. And personally, I think he should be able to run for another term, you know, 2 terms back to back. That's what it says in the Constitution. They can run for 2 terms back to back. I don't know if it means quite that way because he did have a gap there, but because he was ripped off on the 2020 election, I think he deserves the right to run again. But you got Marco Rubio, and you got J.D. Vance, you got a lot of you, Ron DeSantis, you know, the governor of Florida. We got some good candidates that can do some good things and keep the MAGA movement alive. So pay attention, folks. Really, keep the MAGA movement alive, and in the next 2-3 years, this country is going to be in a lot better shape, And the tariffs aren't going to go away like the Supreme Court. That was just the Section 122, the 301 and the 232 section on the tariffs. It's going to be a little bit more tough for him to get that set up, but he's already been confirmed he's already at 10% or 50% tariffs across the board to everyone. That's going to get our country out of the hole because we haven't done that in any of the presidencies since the turn of the century. Well, not the turn of this century, but the turn of the 19th century, okay? So we'll see what happens. Anyhow, so this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and share, and we'll see you next time on Coffee Break with Jimmy. Thanks.